All right, so we're gonna go over the scribble method. I call it the scribble method, but the terminology is called Scumble. And you're just doing a bunch of S's and threes or curly Q's. It's just a bunch of scribbles. So the first one here, we're probably going to space out and do a couple here and there. They're just curly little Q's. And then as you work your way down, you're going to do more and more and more of those. So let me open up my, well, actually, I think I shared that with you all yesterday. So this is what scumbling looks like. And in your notes, I believe I shared the sample with you. So I'll leave the screen this way, that way people can see it. So we're doing this one right here. If you don't have a pen, make sure you come get one from me. But the next one here has a couple more scribbles. And this should not take the whole period to do because we are doing it way, way smaller. So I'm just doing question marks, threes, swirls. We're just scribbling. And this looks like a good spot to stop. I don't want to go any more than that. If I go any more, it's going to get too dark. Okay, now I'm going to do this one. This one's going to be just a little more. So you do kind of want to lift the pen off the paper. Let me go over improper techniques. Some things that my students do when they do the scribble method is they never lift the pencil off and they start going like this. And you get a lot of these. So don't do that. You have to lift the pencil off the paper. It's more, you have to, every click that I make, I'm making a mark. So it's more like this. It's controlled scribbles. It's not a continuous swirl. Okay, so know the difference between the two. And as it starts to get filled up, you want to just aim for those white gaps. So I'm slowing down my scribbles and I'm just trying to target the white areas and scribble them out. Okay, this one is a little darker than the first two here. This one doesn't really count because we just leave that white. This one here is a little darker. So you're going to go a little harder. Not harder, but I'm talking about pencil right there. I didn't mean to say harder. You're going to go a little more marks. Scribble those out. I just want to expose you to this and give you some practice because there will be situations where dotting is not ideal and you just feel like, I think I want to use something else. So then you'll have this as an option. So this one's going to have a couple more marks than the one before, and then the next one's going to have even more. We're just doing swirls, curly Qs, number threes, number fives, S's. Try to change directions. Every time I say we're doing threes, we're doing S's, we're doing question marks, I literally have students do a bunch of S's like this. Okay. When I mean S's, I mean like we're changing directions. Some are going that way, some are going up. Try to change the direction of how your lines curve. Don't have them all going one way because then that just looks different. So we want random curly lines. You want that randomness in there. Michelle, I have pens. If you need them, just come check one out for me. Don't suffer in silence because you didn't have a pen. I went to Target last night and I bought more pens. So I have a bunch. You're here, just come get one from me. Don't take the L because you didn't have a pen. Do you need one? I'll walk it over to you. If you don't want to come up, I'll come to you. Whatever it takes. I want to help you succeed. Keep track of who has a pen and who doesn't. So you want to draw those bubbles and then do what we're doing. And they're just the size of a penny. So all we did yesterday was trace. You're just going to draw 8. Trace that 8 times. And then we did 4 rows of 8s. So that's all we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording here because I know that the other periods do not want to sit there and watch me do this. I'll come back when I have more finished. All right, I'm back. Sorry I cut away there for a second in the video, but I finished this one. This last one here is solid dark. So if you have a permanent marker, you can just permanent marker that in. I don't, so I literally have to color that in. So now I can do the swirls because it won't matter. We just want this to be solid. So I'm just going to color this one in solid. Try to get all the white of the paper covered so that it's just pitch black. And I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. Control is what we want. Anytime you lose patience and you want to hurry, you get sloppy, and then that's where you make mistakes. So use caution. Rotate your paper if you need to. There we go. I took down my examples of the portrait projects. They're no longer on the walls in the classroom anymore. And then I put up your artwork. So if you handed one in somewhere in the classroom, your artwork's probably hanging up on the wall. All right, there we go. So that's how you do the Scumble method. There we go. The next one I want to cover is cross-hatching. Those of you who are into your mangoes, no, they're not mangoes. What's it called? Yeah, Japanese mangas. They do a lot of cross-hatching. Cross-hatching. Okay. So cross-hatching works like this. It's right here on this side over here. If you look at the sample, right here it says cross-hatch. So the first one, we do not cross anything. It's just diagonal lines. So I just want to space these diagonal lines apart like so. And I'll make them a little thick. So the white gaps are kind of big in the first one. Actually, that's the number 2, second one. Let me show you. Okay, so the gaps are kind of big right there. The next one, I want you to squeeze those lines in a little tighter. If you cannot draw a straight line and your hand shakes, or you were trying to draw it straight and it became a curve, cheat and use like a small ruler or a straight edge of some kind. So if you have your ID card, here, let me just use this Subway card. It's been in my wallet forever. I think I might just use this today. I don't know. Here it is. So you can use a small straight edge and make your lines this way. You could do it that way. I'm just going to eyeball it. And I'm going to squeeze these in just a little tighter now. Yeah, they're going to get a little tighter. We want less of the white showing through. Like so. You can see I got a little too tight on the bottom here, and that's showing through, so that's my mistake. I can't erase that. I got a little too tight right there. My bad. It's good to see me mess up on camera, because this is happening in real time. But the more you do it, the better you get, because your hand remembers. You'll get muscle memory. Up until the next one, and then we'll start crisscrossing. So this one here, you're going to go even tighter still. So bring them in even closer. So they're almost touching. They're like that close. You're almost drawing the lines on top of each other. They're so close. They're like family. So we just want to close the gaps. Rotate your paper if you need to. Take a break, lift the pen off, stretch. Like so. Okay? Now we crisscross. So you're going to do the same thing you did in this one right here. But this time, you're going to come back over it and you're going to crisscross. So I'm going to zoom in because this part definitely needs to be in the recording. A lot of students get confused right here. So you need to see what I'm doing. We're going to go this way. And then we'll come back and we'll go this way. This one here, you're going to go this way. And then you're going to go this way. But the third time you come back, you're going to come back vertically. And then this one here, you're going to do the same. You're going to go crisscross. And then you're going to come back vertically. But you're going to end it with horizontal lines this way. And the last one, you guys can just scribble out. I'm not going to show that on video because that's just going to consume up time. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one so that it's in the recording. So you want these to be close together, like so. Try to stay inside the bubble. All right, and then I'm going to come back a different direction and go this way. And you can see that creates a darker layer. So this is how you layer up pen and ink. We're building up the ink. We're getting it to look darker. Ta-da! So that's that one right there. This one here, we're going to do the same thing that we did up here, except we're going to come back over it with a third layer, and that third layer is going to be vertical lines. Same thing in this one, but we're going to go beyond a third layer. We're going to add a fourth layer, which is vertical lines. So we're just working in layers. So it's a little different than working with pencil. Pencil only requires you to keep on going in circular motion. And the more you color it in, the more the graphite builds up. But with ink, it's different. We have to like change direction. We have to add different coats or numbers of coats. We got to change the way we make the marks. So the marks that we made yesterday were dots. And then today we're doing scribble markings. Now we're doing lines. I don't know when you want to use crisscross hatching lines for your art project, but you may find some use for them. All right, here I go. Vertical lines. Let me zoom in. You can see that these two look the same, but once I add in the vertical lines, this one will look darker than that one. And that's just because this one has 2 layers, this one has 3 layers. So here comes my vertical lines. And you can see it's happening in real time. So as you start thinking about this project, ask yourself the question, what can I use cross-hatching for? Where is it going to be ideal for me to use the scribble method? And then where am I going to do the dots, right? Where's a good spot to do the dots? Not everybody uses all of them. It's not a requirement for you guys to use all of these. That's a great question. If you didn't hear and you were at home, the question was, are we going to use all 4 of these techniques? And the answer to that is not really. Some of you only require the dots. Other people, they can do the whole assignment with just scribbles. And then there are those of you who might be doing an image that requires 3 of these techniques. Some areas needed to be cross-hatched. Others you could have dotted. And then some areas were scribbled in. So it depends. The answer to that is it depends. So no, you don't have to use all of them. It depends. All right, this last one here, we're going to go diagonal, crisscross, and then we'll come back in with vertical lines and end it with horizontal lines. So I'm getting pretty good at this now because I'm developing that muscle memory. All right, coming back down with vertical lines now. And horizontal lines. Okay. Even my shading out. All right, so this one is definitely darker, just slightly darker than that one. And the last one, you're just going to scribble out. So I'm going to cut the recording here and pause it because I'm sure the other students who are watching this later do not want to waste their time watching me do that. Okay, I'm back, and this is the completed. This is what you should have today. So you're going to take a picture of this and upload it to me like this. That's all I want for today. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead. Here's a pass. I have to write you one. All right, let me stop the recording here so that it doesn't keep going.